So if the smart money it thinks the future is really that grim, then the question is begged is, how do we rally today? How do we come down 700, come back? What is that about? Who buys stocks with the worldview I just outlined? Shouldn't they be using that money to buy a bunker in an undisclosed location, stock up on canned foods and shotgun shells? Let me explain. First, the funny thing happened to the bears in their Earth sign Saturday gloom today. They think, of course, the coronavirus can never be beaten. It's just, it's the Black Plague, right? Bubonic. Well, who can blame them, though? Italy just passed China in COVID-19 related deaths, even though China's population is 20 times the size of Italy's. We're finally getting our test kits here, so our numbers are about to shoot through the roof. We'll probably be in a triage situation soon because we don't have enough hospital beds or ventilators. You figured that, right? Didn't you see that one coming? Everyone saw that one coming. Everyone? Well, maybe not everyone. Okay. It's a real possibility. Maybe even the most likely possibility, but it's not the only possibility. What if one of the 3 antivirals that the president mentioned today, an old drug for malaria, a drug meant for Ebola, or an old rheumatoid arthritis treatment, actually cures the disease or make it less lethal and more like just a really horrible flu? That changes things. What if we step up testing dramatically and then have a vaccine on the market by this time next year? What if we have an instant vaccine in 5 minutes and we just go back to work because it was just in our heads? Not ideal. But not the apocalypse. We already know that it's possible to go back to normal because China's pretty much there. Oh, yeah, well, China's a bunch of liars, right? Okay, wait a second. Maybe you do think the Chinese Communist Party is lying to us, but do you think Starbucks is lying to us? Because last night, Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson came on our show and told us that his Chinese locations are up and running again. In fact, he just opened a new store in Wuhan, where the outbreak started. Sure, I want to see Shanghai Disney reopen, but did you see that giant bond deal that Disney did? Raising lots of cheap money? If you got an iconic brand, the bond market has your back. Given the beating the market's taken over the last couple of months, I think this is the wrong time to go full doom and gloom. But I get it. I know the situation will get worse, probably a lot worse, before it gets better. But it will get better. And sometimes the stocks reflect that before we get to where it gets better. We're not some pitiful, helpless giant that's powerless in the face of this pandemic. We're not a bunch of jokers. The second reason we could bounce today, well, the market was insanely oversold. You know that S&P oscillator I talk about it's from Market Edge? Well, last night it was at minus 24. Do you know that's the most extreme level of selling pressure on record, even worse than the 1987 crash, which had us at minus 23 and change? I know the masters of the universe hate the market here, but according to the oscillator, so does everybody else. Once everybody hates something, you tend to run out of sellers. By the way, the 87 crash turned out to be a fabulous buying opportunity, not a selling opportunity. It could happen again. You know who thinks that way? Larry Williams, my favorite technician. Actually, nearly everybody's favorite technician because he's a legend. Williams points out that we've hit extreme panics. These Williams percentage are, we use them all the time. He's saying this is extreme panic, which, by the way, he thinks is the single most reliable indicator of a trend shift from bearish to bullish that there is. In a special bulletin he put out today, he said you have to buy because, quote, none of the tools of the trade I have in my arsenal have done this good a job of calling major stock market lows, end quote. He continues, quote, for almost 90 years, we have seen bull markets begin at these times of extreme panic, end quote. Apparently, there have been only 24 signals like this in the last 87 years. Of those 24, 18 of them fired off within 3 weeks of a market bottom. That's 75%. 16 times the signals within a week of the low. That's 2 out of 3. Of course, maybe Williams is totally wrong. Maybe he's not focused on what the hedge fund manager's saying. Maybe he's not eating spam in a bunker, upstate somewhere. The 25% of the time where the panic signals, well, maybe that's what we really are, where we don't have a bottom. But you know what? I like the odds he laid out here. They seem to be pretty convincing. That's why, as I said yesterday, it's too late to sell. At this point, if you went out, you got to wait for more of a bounce. Remember, this is not an emotional call. Williams is simply reporting what the charts tell him.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.